My name is Bertolomeus Croc, and my story is one of uncertainty, hesitation perhaps. I was born into the loving family of my father, Croc Dad, the war chief of my hometown, called Croctown. My father built it with his own hands, but that was not the only thing he built. He had also built a fearsome reputation in the region, being known for his violent, barbaric tendencies. One could call him a builder and not be far off his true identity. His barbaric tendencies soothed, however, when he met his wife, Croc. Once a holy warrior, she had since retired, looking to settle down somewhere peaceful and quiet. Together they settled in Croctown and gave birth to me and later to my brothers. My father tried to shape us into true barbaric warriors, while my mother urged him to take it easy on us, since she had seen what men can be like when they're angry. My younger brother, Croc, was impacted the most by the violent teachings of my father. I could see his mind slowly slipping further and further down a dark and vicious path. My mother and I were worried about him, but we could not challenge my father's rule. Instead, my mother instilled in me the divine values she had learned from her teacher long ago. She taught me the importance of compassion, of honor, and most importantly, the importance of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. I went away from home to train in the holy ways of the paladin. I trained for years, mastering the martial ways of old, while Croc kept slipping further into the darkness instilled in him by our father. My devotion was rewarded, and I was anointed a divine warrior, capable of holding up my values with honor and unyielding commitment. Having finished my journey of becoming a paladin, I returned to Croctown, only to find my house empty of my brother. I learned that he had been taken prisoner in Fort Joy, that he escaped and later became known for executing all inhabitants of the forest of Reaper's Coast. This knowledge drove me into a rage. How could our father have allowed this to happen? I needed to end this. But how could I challenge the one who gave me life? My own father. The hardest decision of my journey as a paladin was right at the start of it. It had to be done. I confronted Croc Dad as soon as I could and asked him how Croc had been taken prisoner, how he could have become this evil. It was very hard to contain my anger when I saw my father. He seemed indifferent to my rage, as if Croc had done this to himself. He didn't deserve this. His mind poisoned with a darkness that still dwells within my father's heart, a darkness that must be purged. I drew my sword. My father took his 32 cal revolver from the wall. My father took his axe from the wall, almost as if he had been waiting for this moment. We went to the fields outside. I tried to reason with him one last time, but I could see it was pointless. His eyes were already darkened, filled with rage, even against his own son. He charged at me, screaming. I planted my feet into the grass below as he struck with a swift strike from my left. I warded off the blow as best I could, but he still grazed my shoulder. Yet, his momentum took him slightly off balance, and I saw an opening. I thrusted my sword at his side, but he used his momentum to sidestep my blow, and retaliated with another quick swing at my face, which I could not dodge entirely. Blood gushed out from the ridge of my nose and down my face as I stumbled backwards. Through the blood, I could see in his eyes that he smelled victory in the air. One more blow and that would do it. But I had adapted to his wild fighting style. When the next swing came rising from his feet, I veered left while slicing my sword through the air at his side. His upwards momentum wouldn't help him dodge a sidewards blow. He barely blocked my strike, but that left him open to another attack. I hit the side of his head with the hilt of my sword, knocking him backwards. I continued my advance, and for the first time in my life, I saw something in my father's face I had never seen before. This feeling was soon drowned out by a blood-curdling scream, however, as my father charged at me again. But as he struck, the smallest presence of doubt was tangible in his strike. As I parried his blow, I turned my body to switch my parry into a riposte, and almost as if unprepared for my reaction, my father was struck in the heart. He fell down, my blade lodged in his chest, and I kneeled beside him. I could not muster up any words to tell him in that moment, but he had one final message for me. Before his last breath escaped him, I made out his final words. "I'm proud of you, son." I broke down then and there, in the fields beside my now dead father, in the village he built. In his own twisted ways, he taught me the most important values of life, and he made me strong enough to fight for what I believe in. To show mercy to those deserving of it. To show kindness and forgiveness to those who have changed their ways. To defend the righteous against the wickedness that would swallow it. Be the beacon of righteousness. Be the shield that protects the light.